A lot of drama went down tonight at the reunion, and we're gonna get into it.
Welcome to Cliff Alerts. Today we're going to be talking about OWN Network's reality-based TV series Ready to Love, season number 7, episode number 14, Reunion Part 1.
Jeffrey stated that Andre ghosted her after the finale of the show. That he just simply disappeared. He did not contact her. She reached out to him and let him know that she was coming to Miami, but he was a no show. Andre said that she is mischaracterizing what actually happened.
Right, and that he actually was the one who was ghosted by Jeffrey.
Right. At least that's what he told Mark Anthony when they got
And
backstage.
he also said that he thought that she was full of feces.
Well, I didn't hear that part of
I
it.
did. It came right after the break.
Okay.
I didn't miss that.
Well, the way you said feces, I mean, come
I could
on.
have said it another way, but it would have been something that would not have been appropriate.
Anyway, Andre's upset was that he found it difficult to resolve why the fathers of the children are not involved in the children's lives simply because he has dated women with children before, and that was not the situation.
And he was very comfortable in that type of scenario.
Right. So evidently he asked the question, and Jeffrey got very defensive, and her response was that black men walk away from their children every day
In her experience.
in her experience. And she didn't add that little piece in her experience. She made a generalized statement. Therefore, Anthony, Tony, and I think
Tommy.
Tommy had to check her and let her know that not all black men walk away from their children, particularly since Anthony and Tony are responsible for their kids and they have not abandoned them. So her refusal to acknowledge that she may be part of the problem, because when asked directly, where are these children's fathers, she indicated that she can't go running around after a man and she don't have anything legal that will prevent the fathers from visiting their children. These were all non answers to the question as to the whereabouts of the children's fathers and the children having a relationship with their fathers. So Andre thought that was weird. I don't know why he didn't see this big glaring red flag. And in the last episode, the sister told her that she needed to come clean with him. And we don't know if that conversation occurred or not. So it is what it is. The romance has died down significantly.
It's dead as far as I'm concerned.
Before the segment ended, Jeffrey was in a strange place.
Yeah, Jeffrey actually came out and said to Andre right there on the set that, and I'm paraphrasing here, it was an honor and a privilege to be in her presence right about now.
Yes. And when Andre asked her if he should be grateful, she indicated that that is a correct answer.
But that's not what came back from him out of his mouth
No,
on the same subject.
he
He said, hell no.
he wasn't grateful. And I don't know if Jeffrey realized that the director of the show tells people where they're going to sit for filming purposes. So this arrogant statement she just made um, did not put her in a good light at all.
And the light kind of got worse from there, didn't it?
Pretty much. So we continue on to,
Corvea makes her reappearance on the show at the
yes.
reunion.
And as you, if
And there
you
was an
can
issue.
remember, Corvea was checking for DeMario, and she was the one who told Lyndon that he wasn't suitable for her because one, he needed therapy, has never been to therapy, and two, she couldn't date a man who had a roommate. So that made Lyndon salty, and we have an additional piece of information. Lyndon said that Jeffrey told him that Corvea said that he tried to kiss
Kiss
her.
her, right? And
According to
Lyndon,
Lyndon,
he
he said
refuted
that
that.
never happened.
He said she was a liar.
So they tried to track down the source of the misinformation,
Well, one
and
thing
who showed up? Miss Jeffrey.
she said that she couldn't remember when asked by nephew Tommy, did he say that? She said she couldn't remember.
Right.
That's a telltale sign right there, as far as I'm concerned.
Jeffrey never denied when someone said that was the one who told Lyndon that story. So, you can work both sides of the fence because something's off one way or the other.
Somebody's story. Yeah.
Right. Miss Corvea said she is a high value woman and she's looking for a high value man. She said she's been dating since she was eliminated from the process. Nothing has stuck so far, but she's going to keep herself ready when that opportunity does present itself.
Yeah, Lyndon said that he didn't trust her as well, and Mark Anthony said that she kind of gave off
Gold digger tendency.
vibes. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So,
I hope she finds what she's looking for and that high value man is actually looking for her.
well,
So,
if her dress was necessarily any indication of, you know, high value, maybe she may need some work on.
and if she is looking for, let's say, a rapper, that outfit will probably work. But if she's dealing with old money and maybe a banker or broker or someone in the stock market or what have you, she can dress a certain way, but it's got to be a highbrow look rather than what she had on tonight. So we come to,
Lyndon, Tony, and Morgan.
yeah, they outlined Lyndon's journey through this process. We saw him interacting with Mercedes, who told him she had put him in the friend zone,
Mhm.
Marcia, who denied him that
Yes,
kiss,
right.
and his relationship with Morgan, which he claimed was an honest and true relationship because, that's what they had going on. I beg to differ, but the brother can say what he is feeling at any given point in time.
And
He recognized that Tony had a relationship with Morgan and he was also attracted to her, but he felt like a little intimidated by Tony.
right, and Tony, in response, said that he understood, obviously what um, Lyndon was saying, but hey,
Yeah, Tony saw the kiss that Morgan and Lyndon shared.
for the first time,
For
didn't
the
he?
first time, he said he didn't know that occurred. While he was sitting next to Marcia and they were
Booed up.
booed up, he said that he didn't like the kiss, which was a strange thing to look at. Then we go to Brother Blue, and
This was an interesting exchange, wasn't it?
it seemed like Brother Blue had a different experience altogether. They showed a date that he had with Jonique, and evidently Blue has a cat and a monkey. And while Marcia, who he dated, didn't particularly like the monkey, she was afraid of it, and she would FaceTime him.
Janique.
Janique went to his home, and she doesn't like cats. She's not a cat person, so I guess she cut him loose.
Yeah, she was kind of bothered, shall we say, by that.
Yes.
Yeah, she was uncomfortable and didn't like the environment.
Then Janique put herself in a really bad position. She claimed that Blue, although he voted her out, he tried to date her after the fact.
And that was his motivation for voting her out.
Right, so she can date her on the side.
Right, right.
And we find out based on the backstage chatter that that was not necessarily the case, that Blue actually did not want them to eliminate Janique.
Right.
So she looked about a little sort of like
Foolish.
pie in her face, basically, for claiming that tried to eliminate her when actually did not.
Yeah. Blue had something else going on.
Yeah, Blue was connected to Kayla from last year. The
Season 6
Yeah, Kayla was the young girl who was trying to get with Mike.
and
Then
Ra.
Ra turned her down. Tommy said that they're in a relationship. They both said that the relationship, they were dating each other for 3 months.
But
And she had a side of the bed that she took that this cat slept next to her. So, he's breaking this down.
yeah, meanwhile,
Meanwhile, in the cut,
Z was in there and was like, "Hold up, wait a minute. We had some contact after the show, and it's been recent, within the past month or so, right?"
while Z, who was eliminated early, she's the one with the great voice. She indicated that she and Blue have been having conversations on the phone even recently, and she was surprised that this newfound relationship that Blue had with uh, uh, Kayla. She thought it was surprising.
Visibly so, because they
Yes.
showed a cutaway of her and her reaction when Kayla walked out.
Right. Z actually said, I'm surprised that is going on. And Kayla clapped back and said, because
Blue talks a
Blue
lot.
talks a lot to everyone.
Everybody, right?
And, after the filming, Z just looked horrified.
Right, and she got a chance to kind of like, I guess, speak to Blue
Blue
backstage,
backstage.
and she was like, "Well, why didn't you tell me all of this?"
Right. And in that situation, he said that they've been dating for a month. Meanwhile, on the set, on camera, he said they were dating for 3 months. In fact, both of them did. And when she asked them, what about the conversations that we have been having? Z thought that it was inappropriate that one, did not tell her that he was involved in a relationship with Kayla to such an extent that she's sleeping at his house, and secondly, that they recently had a sort of turned up conversation that Kayla would feel a type of way.
Yeah, so I guess what bailed him out was a producer, I guess, that contacted him,
Somebody,
summoned him, and
and he got up and just
he
like ran.
he slid out of that seat, didn't he, with the quickness?
And, she said, well, I know the truth. So I'm sure somebody is going to get an interview with Z, and we're going to find out the full extent of what occurred.
She's definitely gonna sell the tapes.
Yes, you will, because the man she's thinking she got something going on with felt nothing about bringing or introducing a new woman into his life and not let her know anything about it.
In
Now
short,
that is foul.
in short, she probably feels like she got played big
Yes,
time. And
yes. And he
it's
felt
not a good look.
nothing about it, knowing he brought Kayla on, knowing that she was there, knowing that they were having conversations, side conversations, and did not give her any heads up or anything like that.
Not a good look for Blue. Suanne got a chance to talk about her time on the show and her relationship that she developed with Blake.
Yes, and they showed Suanne's history on the show. She's trying to get Anthony's attention, and she's dating Blake as well. She said she was attracted to Anthony because he is a good dancer and she loves to dance. But she and Blake ended up being together. They lived 10 minutes away from each other, and she got some stuff at his house.
Yeah, and Tommy wished them well, didn't he?
Yes. Well, that's the only thing you can do
Yeah, at this point, yeah,
at this point.
because he self-eliminated, right?
Yes.
After she was voted off.
Right. And Sue did discuss the saying that she don't mind being called Advocate Sue because she is an attorney.
Yeah, the nickname that Jeffrey gave her to
Right.
kind of
Jeffrey thought that would be
a little
a stinger
sniper
in
dig
the
at her,
right,
or
but
condescending little nickname for her.
it had no effect because that's what she does
Anyway,
professionally. She
right,
legally advocates for people.
right. And then Jeffrey had kind of scrunched up her face by that at the end of that.
Right. Jeffrey turned out to be looking a little bit sad around the edges, and God knows what she had going on. She looked like Storm from that Marvel movie. Is it just me? It could be just me. I was expecting her to levitate and the that frou-frou thing she got on us to see some tights and some firepower and she could zap people at will. Jeffrey, aka Baby Kisses, not a baby voice in the sight,
I
but
guess she,
heard some bass in that voice right throughout this
yeah,
reunion.
because she wasn't trying to attract nobody.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's what I
So
think
that
would
voice was the track a man? Maybe Andre.
entice a man to her. Yes.
Really? Well, I hope she I hope she stops doing that and she uses the her real voice.
Grown woman voice,
Yeah.
her baby kisses voice.
Yeah. Because that ish was annoying.
I agree. All days.
So now we get to
Morgan, Tony, and their volatile relationship. Great day in the morning.
I feel a level of sadness for this segment right here. Um I am not um, a medical healthcare provider
Or expert
or
on
expert on mental health and
issues.
issues, but there was a level of dysfunction actively going on, and I just at this point wish Morgan well.
I'll say this. That representative that showed up in this segment did her absolutely no favors whatsoever. She came across as truly disturbing, as far as I'm concerned. Truly.
Well, let's get into it. Tommy introduces the um three-way situation
The
they have,
triad
the
that
triangle.
that was going on between
Morgan,
Morgan, Tony,
Tony,
and
and
Lyndon,
Lyndon.
right?
And they're sitting next to each other, and
Morgan's in the middle.
Morgan starts talking about that
In one
she was
hand,
attracted to Lyndon. She liked his vibe, but he was not ready because she wanted to, get married and have children. She liked Tony because he was aggressive and he claimed her,
yeah, he's.
basically.
I think she kind of referenced his approaches. Come on, girl.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he,
and she liked that.
she liked that caveman kind of vibe, and she went with that.
Okay,
She
you like what you
said
like.
she said that the chemistry was so hot, so strong that they forgot
Friendship.
the friendship part of
Yes.
the equation, and of course that suffered.
Right, and Tony agreed with her
Right.
regarding that comment, regarding that remark.
We find out that after the finale, when she decided to choose herself, that she and Tony continued dating.
Tony actually said, if I'm just remembering correctly, that there was a lot of things going on. He had his kids that he was dealing with and some other issues, job and other pressures on him. And she got immediately, I guess, offended by that because, she's saying that Tony knew all of these things coming up, but he didn't make time to value the gem that was right in front of her.
What she called herself a diamond. And she said Tony knew he had kids, and if a man isn't really into what he wants, he's gonna make time for
Right. A man makes time for
what he
things,
wants.
yeah, things that he's really and
And
truly into.
she's saying that the relationship fizzled for some reason after Tony decided that he was gonna gradually step away from her.
Right. And then she got really
Then
condescending.
she
Then
got condescending and she started calling him names. And he told her, well, you're not gonna just insult me right through here." And she got a little bit irritated. He
a
said,
little bit,
well,
a
she
lot.
got irritated. He said that he cared about her, he liked her a lot. She didn't want to hear that because he said that the relationship was toxic, and she said her love was not toxic.
That's not what he said.
And she could see the fire just building. Her eyes started going,
Her expression,
the
demeanor
expression, you
changed.
see like different personalities showing up.
And she actually called him a monster.
Called him a monster.
Now, where we heard that before, she referred to earlier in the season on a couple of different occasions. She referred to Blake as a cancer. So she's adept at name calling for sure
Yeah,
to demean people that I guess she feels like to mistreat her or do her wrong.
right.
Okay,
So after she calls Tony a monster, Mark Antony tried to intercede, like, "Hey, Morgan, calm down." And she cussed them out. She told them,
shut your ass up.
"Shut your ass up."
Like
And
like that was appropriate to speak when he was just trying to diffuse the situation
right,
and all. She actually came out of her face, and then she started asking questions to
to Marcia,
Marcia, who was sitting
because
right next to her.
Marcia is sitting next to
Mercedes,
Mercedes,
right?
and Marcia is clearly laughing at her. And she tells Marcia that the good dude Tony is a monster and she needs to get with someone else. So she really actively trying to break up whatever relationship Tony got going on with Marcia at that given point in time. And Marcia is laughing and smiling at her, and it amped her up a little bit more. She's told Tony that she can destroy him.
If he
Um,
didn't shut up, if
and
he didn't
you could
hush and shut up.
see something taking hold of her in real time. If he didn't shut up, she will destroy him.
She actually, in
And
no uncertain words, threatened him right there in front of everybody.
Tommy probably don't know what to do. He let this play out on national television. And at the end of it, he tried to quiet the situation down, and they took a break and went backstage. And you see Tony actively trying to get in the dressing room where Morgan is now and has
Upset.
now entered, and she's crying and she's upset. And someone from the crew is telling him, like, okay, you
Let
stop,
her have her
let
space.
her have a space. But he, like
Push it
a
forward.
bull in a china shop, he wants to do what he wants to do. So eventually he leaves the room, and she said, well, she kept saying, "I want to talk to her." And she said, "I wanted to talk to you 6 weeks ago."
Yeah, and that's when you had your chance, but you didn't take it up then since she
Right.
closed the door on her.
And she slammed the door. So it was a little bit surprising, the behavior of Morgan. I was surprised by her the change of personality that I saw going on. She looked very angry. She looked at one point to me as if she was gonna attack Tony, who was sitting next to her. Lyndon had his head down and he was smirking a little bit for a moment. Mercedes was clapping for her when she talked about oh, a man makes time for what he needs. But once she attacked Mark Antony, Mercedes' attitude changed towards her. Jeffrey, who they're girls, they support each other, was just trying to look as nonchalant as she could be at that point in time. But it was a really, to me, alarming situation.
There was an ugliness that Morgan revealed that was to me akin to, some of the things that she had revealed and as a way of responding to some people in her past that had done her wrong that she had
Yes,
dated.
yes.
And it was
Uh, it's
ugliness.
a manifestation of a lot of bitterness and loss and anger that we witnessed tonight. And I thought
She got issues. She's
that
got
was
serious issues.
she did say she has a relationship with God, and I pray that He makes her whole.
To me, there was like an ugliness that poured out of her, and it was triggered by something, and she just went for it after that. And it is not a good look at all.
Morgan and Jeffrey seem to be tight, and that's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence at all.
So basically, what you're saying is they're kind of like, for lack of a better expression, kindred spirits.
Well, so that's
Man,
all we have. Next week will unfold itself, but in the meanwhile, because they filmed this maybe early last year, I would pray for their health and well-being and happiness for the entire cast, but more particularly Morgan and Tony. Because one thing I know for sure, Marcia is sitting in the cut, sitting under Tony, and she doesn't realize that he is moving around just making some distributions. We have a distribution in Morgan. We have a distribution in potentially or allegedly her because we don't know the extent of their relationship. So I'm speculating right now. We have a distribution in Natasha,
who was
who was
backstage
backstage, and she
this
looked
entire episode?
horrified as to what was playing out. So you got to be mindful who gets to do what they do with you and your body and what they may potentially leave behind that you have to deal with. God bless you. God keep you. God keep your heart. God surround you with light and goodness and grace and love. And we shall see you next week.
And hopefully, I'll be feeling much better with these allergies.